Everyone, how are things? Hopefully you're all well. I'm feeling lots better. No blocked nose this time. So you should be able to hear me a lot better. Now, interesting week. All green almost, especially in Ethereum land, but we'll get to that in a minute. Didn't get a chance to do a video earlier this week, so I've got a few chart requests to get through. Put the word out this morning to see if anybody wanted any reviews done. So I've got a big list. I will try and keep it brief because the list is quite long. All right, so let's start off with Bitcoin though. So we've had that huge push up from the 21st of July. So it's been now, what is that? 16 days. And we've gone all the way up. So 50%, almost 43%. We're in this huge demand zone, supply zone in here because like this was the Elon candle around here and it just broke through that. But then we've had multiple bounces and tests and there's all this consolidation and stuff right here. And then when Elon said that he wasn't going to do Bitcoin anymore or it was environmentally unfriendly or whatever, it just like smashed right through it. So here is a either, smash through upwards or smash through downwards. So there's not a lot of resistance in here, but there's definitely a lot of traffic just below it and just above it. Just looking at previous price action. So you've also got this order block just in here too. So getting through here will be tricky. We've already had one attempt and got rejected. This is the second attempt. Now that it's a weekend, so this daily candle here will close in about 15 minutes. So it's going to close pretty strong. Weekends are like there's less trading activity going on, so there's less liquidity. Things get they can be more volatile, right? So it'll be interesting to see. From just a pure price action point of view, this is not somewhere I would buy. Obviously it's just a resistance point, so for long-term bags and stuff like that, I wanted, what I would want is I can never find I'll put it up here. Yeah, so I would want it to come up, then down, then this, and then buy here. We've got this area just here too, right? So lots of action and consolidation here. We've bounced twice, had that consolidation, then broke down. So it would probably, or I'd be interested if it came up here, came back down, and I buy here. So buying support. Where it is at the moment, for me, is not a buy. For me, I would be wanting to come down and like buy in here, or come down and bounce off and buy in there, or even in here in this part just here, because this is where we've had that previous bounce off a couple of days ago, plus you've got EMAs and stuff all in here and a little order block. So for me, nothing but just holding my long-term bags just here. Buy zones would be along here. So dollar cost average, if you wanted to, here, and here. Once we start dropping below that, it's still a higher low sort of area, but we start getting back into this zone again when everybody was really all sad and depressed. So I don't really want to see that. If we start coming like grinding all the way back down here, then I'd say that the bull market will take a lot longer to come back. I've always said that, I wouldn't be surprised if it takes us until October-ish, so here, before we start to really pump into the last quarter of the year. Traditionally, the last quarter of the year has always been quite bullish. We've had the tops of the last couple of cycles in December, January, so yeah, so as far as Bitcoin's concerned, everything's looking good so far. Ethereum looks even better. Now, from the past couple of videos, I said that I was expecting it to hit here and come back down to the all-time high mark. So it made it 3/4 of the way there and then just proceeded to absolutely moon. So I was half right. Oh, wrong button. Get rid of that. Right. So not only has it pumped with one red candle all green for 16 days, it's also broken the trend to the upside. So, which is great, but we're also at that similar point to where Bitcoin is, where we're at this resistance level, right? So the last two times we've broken, we've attempted to break it and then just didn't make it, right? So what happens now, I don't know. It's the end of the week. Again, it's interesting. We may even have low liquidity pumps up, like, and create wicks and or swing failure patterns or stuff coming up through up here. We could even just get come down into this demand zone just in here and then shoot off. Man, the way this market is at the moment, I wouldn't even be surprised if it came up to here and then came back and then did that. So but again, it's a similar story for Bitcoin. I'm not buying here. I'm going to look for entries here. Ideally here, this seems to be the obvious area for me to buy some more. Just in this area. So we've got previous bounces in the past here as well. A big one here got rejected, but we smashed through that. So coming back off there would be good to get in on some more if we get back there. Can never find the tools when I need it. So this area is the 50% pullback from this run up. So we've got the 50 EMA curling up and the 200 EMA as well is starting to follow. So for me, I personally am looking to get more Ethereum, more so than Bitcoin. I have enough of that, I think. Not enough exposure to Ethereum for me, so that's where I'll be looking to get in big if we pull back here. If we only get back to here, then I might just, like a little bit. But here, no. If we don't even pull back at all and we hit up here, then hopefully we come back and then get the retest on there. But yeah, things are strong for Ethereum. You got ERP 1559 is launched, and there were no issues. There were no bugs. Things seem to be working. The gas fees are burning Ethereum. So yeah, things are looking good. The NFT hype is definitely causing, so for most of these NFTs, in order to buy them, you need Ethereum as well. So there's that on top of it. Let's have a look. The first one off the rank for requests, we got wrong one. So this is Voyager. So Voyager, being one of these alts, has had huge drop. So it came back 82%. So that's typically what you would find after a parabolic run, somewhere between 80 and 90. So it's had its massive 80% runoff, and it's had a huge pump up to, what's that, 150% ish. It's rejecting this level here, which is in line with what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing too. So you'll probably find that because the market's correlated, all these alts are going to be looking the same. So, simple case. So I don't really know the fundamentals of Voyager that well, so I can only comment on the chart. It's definitely not a buy here for me. I'd be entering in more here. And then, you want something like that, hopefully. So buys here, stops probably somewhere here underneath all the, EMAs and stuff. So by the time price, if it did come back down to here, the EMAs would have caught up to it about here. So not a bad entry. RSI is overcooked here, so you know, most of the time on these oscillators, on these charts, have picked the tops pretty consistently. So even if it's only a minor pullback, it's been pretty good. So we're very cooked here. Wouldn't be surprised if it came back. Next one is Wink. Huge dump. What do we got? 90%, right? So that's a good reset. Let's come back down to here. So there's the top, comes back, mega pumps. Now we're back to that level just before the breakout, which is it's what you see normally with pump and dump alts after a parabolic run. So we've definitely reset on this one. So it's just waiting for another opportunity to break out. But again, just like the other alt, it's at resistance. So bounces, bounce, bounce, breakdown, rejection, rejection, breakdown again. So it's at that key inflection point. So do we come back then do that, or do we go up and then do that? Or you know, do we even do that? So yeah, so right now more bearish than bullish at this level, but overall it's looking like it could turn around, just because the rest of the market looks like it's going to do that too. Like alts, like just remember that everything is correlated. You could argue for an inverse head and shoulders. The RSI is starting to curve up too, but there isn't a lot of trade volume. So I mean, most of the trade volume happened in April. There must have been some sort of fundamental news event, I would imagine. I don't really follow this project, so I'm just guessing, but obviously something happened here to make people interested in it, other than price going up. Absolute monster pump though. Yeah, so here, not interested in buying breaks up, breaks down. You'll find that this will be the common theme across all these charts. Let's look at Matic is next. Where's Matic? Over here. I might redraw this chart. Let's have a look. That's probably a bit better. So again, it's at a resistance point, just like the other ones. Matic hasn't had, I don't think it's had as much of a pullback, has it? 76. So it hasn't had the full 83, 90, like down to this level before the pump. So the initial push, the pullback, and then the parabolic run start. So it hasn't fully reset, but you know, there's a lot of good stuff going on with Matic. So, but it is consolidating at resistance. So, I mean, it's still a quality alt to have. I mean, you don't, from a gas point of view, you don't need a lot of it, but which is confusing for me in my mind. So, you know, why you would have so much Matic if you don't really need it for gas. So, if you think, I can't explain it, but it's definitely a quality project. So, does it pump up higher? Could do. It'll follow the rest of the market. It's definitely broken out of that trend though. So what we want to see is some sort of run up to, if you're doing this short term, it'd probably only make it to, come on, draw. Probably only make it to about here, like $1.24-ish, and then maybe pull back and then go again. If it breaks down, I'd expect it around here to bounce off to 200. It's a wait and see game, really. Next one for Matic. After Matic is FET. What's that fetch? Let's go similar chart probably. Yep. There's another level just in here too. So same thing. I won't repeat myself. It's at resistance. All these charts are going to be the same. Here's the big draw. The trend, it broke it, it's up. It could pump up from here. All good. RDN is next on the list. So it's the Raiden network. Similar chart. Yes, at resistance before a major breakup. So looks good, looks strong. What's the Raiden Bitcoin chart look like? Even that's kind of the same, although it's bouncing off support. So from a Bitcoin perspective, yeah, start loading up. Yeah, I don't really follow the fundamentals on Raiden that well, so I can't really comment, but the chart again is looking similar to all the others. Solana is next. So here's the Solana chart. This is one I've had drawn in for a while. These lines anyway. So the overall trend has been up. We had that fake out liquidity grab here, and then it just pumped along with the rest of the market when Ethereum started to pump. But again, we're at resistance at a major point. So we've had bounces off here and then fall down, rejection, and then recover, but then rejection and down again. So we're at that same point. What happens from here? My bet is that we have a little bit of recovery and then hopefully we take off. That's probably where it is. So, well, drew that wrong. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look at this. So the 382 would be here. Just the way these levels are, I wouldn't like it to come back this far, actually. If it stayed around the $36 mark and then took off would be better. If it breaks up and keeps going to like $43, you know, that would be really, really bullish, obviously, but it would be, you know, sentiment-wise, it'd be really bullish too. So layer in buys at around the $40 mark. But just with all the other charts that are all at resistance now, it's less likely. Not saying that it won't happen. So it's all about the if then else, right? So if you're at resistance, you know, what are you better off doing? Well, you're not better off buying at resistance. You buy at support and you sell at resistance, right? So Sol's looking good. FTT token is looking even better. That's just like straight vertical. Last video, I thought that it was going to bend around and come back down to support here. I mean, this candle right here was super bearish. It went up, tried to break and got smashed back down, and then, you know, rejected the 50 and the top of the Bollingers and this trend line, and I'm going, wow, it's going to go down, but I was humbled. And it kept going along with the rest of the market. So it's, you know, the whole thing's correlated, right? So don't think that, you know, your coin is special at all. If the entire market's going up, there's a chance that your coin's going to get dragged along with it. The percentages are going to be different, right? If Bitcoin goes up, say 5%, your alt might go up 6 or 10 or something, but just the general direction will be following the market, right? So FTT is looking great. They've had some good announcements too, like they've done a sponsorship with another gaming, what is it, League of Legends or something? Another sports, I think it's a tournament, an e-games tournament. I think it's LCS. I forget the name of it though. It might be League of Legends. Anyway, they're everywhere. They're all over the social media. They're all over. They've got celebrities retweeting their ads and stuff. So FTT, make sure you have a bag of that. It's, you know, they're making big moves in the, you know, the exchange space. So FTT and Sol are looking good, but again, we're at resistance, just like the entire market is. So you're gonna have a whole bunch of people that are going to be shorting around here because they think what I'm thinking. You don't buy resistance, you sell. So if the market does have a low liquidity volatility pump through here and there's a heap of shorts, like across the market, there's going to be a short squeeze, and it's just going to accelerate the whole thing up. So if you think that that's what's going to happen, then you would buy here like for a scalp and then probably take profit about 45, or at least layer your sells, because that's the next logical level, right? FTT as a hold, at least things are looking good. That's how many days? Is that the same amount of days? 17 days. Yep. Great stuff. Great stuff there. Lisk isn't the next one. Similar chart to everything else. Everything's at resistance, so I won't go over it, but you know what to do. Take profits here, buy some more here, write it up. If you've got a bag, hold your bag. But yeah, for me, I wouldn't dollar cost average in here. I'll be buying more either here, but if it did break up, then yeah, obviously on the retest you buy more. So Lisk is looking just as healthy as everything else. Audio will probably look the same. Yep. Audio has also got the NFT hype with it, so yeah, that's looking strong. So it could do this, or obviously that. So, but again, for me, I wouldn't be buying here. So it's either here or break up and then buy some more down here. The next level to take profit at would be about $1.80-ish around here. Something like that, underneath this order block. ERSDL. Unfederal Reserve. What the hell is this? I've never heard of this one. But it's on the list, so we review. Definitely this might look a bit better on the 4-hour. Yeah, it kind of looks like audio. There's like a ascending triangle kind of thing happening here. I don't know the fundamentals of this, so do they have an upcoming release or something? It's still strong. If it falls below here, though, it starts closing down here, all bets are off, and then I would cut my bags. But yeah, things are all right. Next one on the thing, Polkadot is on the list. Polkadot. Let's go back to the daily. So Polkadot had a full retrace from its pump. So it's like 80%. So here's the initial pump out, pullback, and then launch. So it retraced all the way, 80%. And again, we're at resistance, right? So same story as with all the other alts. Where's the level down here? Probably here. Around like that. What do the fibs look like? So that's the 382 pullback, which would coincide with the 20 and the 50 on the daily. So, load up your buys here if it doesn't break out already, along with the rest of the market. If we get a pullback over the weekend, Monday, Tuesday or something, then, buy in here and here. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, we're at trend resistance as well. So there's the 200 EMA in the way. You got this trend resistance. You've got order blocks and previous support, and it's not good. Not good to buy it. If it breaks up, comes back, then you buy it. You need to let the market show its hand on what it's going to do. So don't try and, because it's a gamble, right? And it's a low probability gamble. It could still happen, sure, right? But you got to play the probabilities in these things. Otherwise, you will it's just gambling, right? I mean, poker players don't do that. They look at their hand and they say, well, this has got like a 60% chance of winning or a 70% chance of winning. And you keep betting on that edge over time. So here is not a place that you would buy, no matter how bullish that this is. It's just a low probability play, and it still could go up, and you need to be able to say to yourself, okay, fine, it's bullish and I missed it. There will be other opportunities, and try not to kick yourself about it, because you will. You'll go, damn, I wish I bought there. But like over the long term, over thousands of trades, over time, resistance is where you sell, or at least take profit on some of it, right? ICX is the next one on the list. Let's have a look. Probably the same again. Yes, we're at resistance. These are all going to be the same when I'm going to fly through them. Sushi, where's Sushi? Here, it'll be similar. Oh, I'm going to redraw this. This is all dirty. Let's have a look. Right. So again, it's a similar. Sushi, you've got a couple of catalysts coming up, I think, fundamental wise. Let's look at the DeFi perp in total. Sushi is part of that. If it breaks this, and it'll just go launch. Like, there's a bit of traffic here, but if it breaks up through here, we're starting to create really clear higher highs and higher lows. So volume's starting to pick up too on the DeFi perp. It's starting to trend up this way. But, the oscillators are starting to get overheated. So if it was to break up, I would say here, no more, and then do that. Maybe even do that. It's looking healthy though. This, the 5200 is looking like it might turn into a golden cross soon, which is fine. That's what you want to see. You want to see the 50 above the 200. VeChain. The Bitfinex chart, why not? Looks pretty similar to all the other charts, doesn't it? Huge pullback. What do we get to? 80. See, here's the impulse pump before the parabolic run, then the cool off pullback, and then just launch, right? And now we've come back 80% and retouched where it launched off before. So the full resets happened already very quickly. How long did that take? 96, 95 days. So like 3 months. It's the same point as all the others. We're at resistance. Do we break up, bounce and go, or whatever? GRT, that'll be the same as well. Like, I hate to say it, kids, but your altcoin project isn't special. Look, this chart is a dead set copy of the other one. All these patterns are the same. Huge launch, reset, parabolic pump, 80% retrace, and now at resistance. Like, they're all the same. Let's go to the altcoin index perp. Looks a little bit there. Now, the alt perp is the majors, so I think it's like Litecoin and EOS and the bigger ones. The mid perp from FTX is obviously the mid market cap stuff, and then the shit perp is all the, well, it's all the shit coins. But you can see that they're similar. It's like the charts are similar. Look at that. Similar. Yeah, everything's the same. So the large cap altcoin index is at resistance. So, yeah. GRT I was looking at, wasn't I? It's been more sideways than the others, I'll give it that. So it's starting to curve around though. The RSI on this is starting to bend upwards, which shows signs of bullish strength, so that's good. And we're above the 50, which is good. So yeah, I mean, this is not a place to sell everything and run away. It's looking promising. Next on the list, CVX. CVX. So that's the convex one. I don't know if I can actually have a good chart of this. All right, so this is against wrapped Ethereum. Is there another one that's not against that? What have I got? Against Curve and against Tether and yeah. All right. So against Ethereum, okay. Ethereum is strong at the moment. So you're asking yourself, is it better to buy Convex token or is it better to buy Ethereum by looking at this chart? And it's quite obvious that you may as well just buy Ethereum because you'll, you'll end up with more dollar value in your bags. Because, over the long term, this is trending downwards versus Ethereum. Which is the same question you need to be asking yourself with all alts. Versus Bitcoin and stuff. So let's just go back to Sushi, for example. So Sushi is holding its own against Bitcoin, so that's a good sign. Sushi versus ETH. So this is Sushi versus ETH on coin. It's holding its own as well. It's dipping a little bit. So I mean, over time, ETH has outperformed Sushi. So why buy Sushi if Ethereum is doing better? Right. Is there a DeFi ETH chart? There should be. I thought there was. Anyway, not to worry. Let's look at something else. ETH Bitcoin chart strong. That'll come back probably to here, I'd say. I think Bitcoin might outperform Ethereum this weekend. That's just a complete guess, a complete hunch from here, because it had a huge wick up and then it just a sell-off. So Bitcoin hasn't really broken out of this part here, and Ethereum has just had this monster run. So we could see a little cool off and come back to like 65. Let's have a look at the next one on the list. So Cope. Okay, so this is Cope, which was an airdrop originally. So lots of people got this for free. And even still, it made it all the way up to $8. Something important to know is that the total supply of Cope was 1 billion tokens. But recently as a few days ago, they burnt 95% of them. So if you go to CoinGecko and you look at the max supply, it says 1 billion. That's actually wrong. There's only 50 million. It's like 49 million and change left. Now, to be fair, those tokens weren't even in circulation anyway. It was just max supply. But they burnt them all. So 95% of the max supply is gone. So if they were able to be sold, they can't be because they don't exist anymore. They do have a lot of fundamental stuff coming up. They've got their prediction markets. They've got Cope games as well. That's actually launched and you can play that. So you got to pay with Cope. It's like 0.1 Cope, I think, and you get like 7 lives or something, and you go play this game. And if you finish the game, then you win Cope as a prize. It's actually quite good. Yeah, it's like a little pixel art game where you're a little ninja and you jump around on these levels and you got to collect coins or something. So yeah, it's pretty good. I don't mind it. But yeah, so the chart is definitely, it's picked up from there. So it's gone from 50 cents to $2. So it's 4x from the bottom. It's above the 50, bouncing off. And yeah, so it's either going to come back and take off. But, so for me, like the trading volume is definitely picked up. So here's where all those announcements were made and then everybody's all excited again. So it would not surprise me if we made it all the way back up here eventually, like at the height of the next top of the altcoin cycle. But again, along with everything else, it's just that resistance. So same. Now let's look at next on the list is Axie Infinity and SLP token. So let's look at SLP token first. So SLP is the smooth love potion. This is the coin that you get when you play the game. This is what all the guys that are using it to survive with. So like in the Philippines, they play the game, they get SLP token, and they sell that for US dollars or whatever they want. So there's always going to be sell pressure on SLP. There's buy pressure because you need it to breed. So when news broke, this is the hype phase, and everybody goes, "Oh, we want to play it and we want to breed." So this is all this, all the breeders were coming along and buying up SLP, and you need Axie as well to do your breeding. But things have calmed down since then. So lots of selling, not much buying. So the market is probably flooded with all these new breeders. In order to offset that in terms of the economy, you need more players. So the tipping point is going to come where, if there's more players than there are breeders breeding Axies, then price will go up, obviously supply and demand. But if more people don't come in and play it, and the breeding is still happening, then you're going to be flooded with all these Axies. Well, the price of Axies, all the Axies will go down as well. So then people will just be selling them cheap. And so you got to weigh up, well, not you or me, but the Axie team have to weigh up costs to mint or breed these things, because the last time I checked, I think it cost 4 Axie to breed plus however many hundreds of SLP. So if there's too much SLP, do you raise the SLP charges to burn when you breed these things? So there's a balancing act. So right now it's quite obvious that lots of people are. So traders are selling, and then you've got all the players, they're selling. So if there's more and more players coming in, lots more downward pressure on SLP, which makes it cheaper to breed though. So you could get more breeders. Anyway, the point of this chart is that there will always be seller pressure on SLP, especially if more and more players come in. So, I mean, for me, SLP isn't something that you would buy as an investment, because it's used as in-game currency to, for people to live on. That's why it's being marketed anyway, with all these scholarships that are happening. It's definitely at a decent level though, so it could bounce here and come up. But in terms of Axie itself, we're in a flag at the moment. Volume's dropped off. We're at all-time highs. Depending on how you look at this, it's either some sort of bull flag or an ugly head and shoulders type thing, which I've drawn in here depending on how you look at it. It's at a halfway decent level as well. So you're really watching to see if it breaks out of this at all. I mean, Axie is one of those ones that is independent of the market. Like the shape of this chart is like nothing else across the wide range of coins on offer. So it's really its own economy. So yeah, for me, to wait and see. If you wanted to buy more here, you could, or up and out. But it will be interesting to see if it does break out or not. It's been hanging around here for a while, and volume has definitely dropped off. What else we've got? Let's go last. We'll just end off with Total2. So Total2 is just the total market cap of everything except Bitcoin. And again, we're at this resistance point. So there's this area in here of consolidation. We've had that bounce off and up, and we're back in here again. So, what happens? The volume is picking up. Do we break up and bounce off, and away we go off to the races? Do we come back to the 50 and relaunch and then go. I would prefer to see that happen rather than we keep going up and up and up, just because, you know, the further up you go without coming back, the harder the crash. Dominance, let's go to the weekly, you can see it better. So Bitcoin dominance is on the weekly. So last week it tried to come up and got smashed back down. Ethereum just was too strong, but this week it tried to go down, but it's been rejected from here at this point, which is also this block over here, right? So it's a bit of a consolidation sort of area. What is it going to do? Where's the top level for here? It will be interesting. Oh, there's another level here too. There's probably one there and one there. So what's going to happen in terms of dominance? What does it look like on the daily? Let's go back. So it's sort of creeping up. It is. I'll get rid of this. It doesn't look good. Let's draw that. Let's have a look at the trend. So if we lose the trend, then it's alt season. It's kind of looking like a rising wedge, but not. Yeah, I mean, it'd be good for the overall, for Bitcoin holders if it just kept meandering its way up. But if we lose this and we start going down here, then, you know, alts are going to outperform. But right now it seems okay. Personally, I don't want to see this breaking until, you know, October-ish, towards the end of the year. Everything is okay though, I think. Yeah, so that was a very long-winded way to say everything's at resistance and just wait, right? So the weekend low, there's lower trading volume on the weekend, so lower liquidity, lower or open interest. You may see people take advantage of that like they have in the past and try and push the order book around, try to push the market around because it's easier to do it on a weekend. You know, there will be, you know, there might be some larger players that are trying to get more Ethereum, so they may try and push it back down here and here. So that means if that happens, then alts will follow. So yeah, keep an eye, just be careful, don't go all in here at resistance. Start buying in, ladder in as things start to pull back, or if it does break up, then, you know, buy at support when it comes back eventually. I think that's it. It's a long one. I hope you enjoyed it and you stuck through to the end. Talk to you guys soon.